And we're back.
Yes.
Back.
Counting by sevens. This is Justin.
This is Robbie.
Dakota.
Sorry, I was late on that handoff there.
I thought, yeah.
Episode 10, though, Christmas Eve.
Double
Whoop,
digits.
Yes, double digits, Christmas season, very festive.
2 out of 3 of us football teams in double digits. Hoop, hoop, hoop. Sorry, Dakota.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Last year,
Division champions right here. Let's shake on it, man. Well fought season. Let me reach. Thank you, sir.
hey, Pounder, I'll give you a
Oh,
pounder.
yeah,
for that.
man. Hey, hats off to you, man.
Brothers.
Two playoff berths in a row.
2 out of 3.
Well, 2 back-to-back seasons.
No, we lost. We did not go to the playoffs last year. But
Oh, 2 out. Okay.
2 out of 2 or 3 in
anyways.
the Sean McDermott, Brandon Bean
Ignorance.
era.
Exactly. Excuse me. But
But
still,
it's all good. I'll
we
take
all
that.
had. Well, Dakota learned a lot about his team, which I guess at least. Well, we'll do a year-end wrap-up because I think we'll segue too
Yeah,
hard.
we should have some time.
Yeah. I mean, today I don't give a fuck about time. We're double verified already. I answer those emails, YouTube. You hear me?
What up, YouTube?
Let us
Shout out.
know. Yeah. Let us know when people are calling. I'm drinking a sour beer right now. I don't know about which company, but if you are a friend sponsor sour beer, send them my way. I'll drink them for money.
Anheuser-Busch. We love Bud Light too. That's my drink of preference on this show.
On this show, yeah. But
Okay.
I'm always open to try new things.
He would want us to be sponsored by Shock Top because he's weird.
Ooh, I almost got Shark Top.
See?
I did.
I wouldn't
almost.
say
glad you-
that.
I want to drink it.
You don't like it?
Not a fan.
You know,
Really?
see, now I'm weird. Look at
So
me.
now we just lost a sponsor. See what we do.
That's fair. But
I'll try to get with you guys because some things hit different when you're with the bros versus when you're just buying.
Yeah, it's a bro drink.
I think we'll find out.
for
find
Hansel
out.
and Gretel.
Toes in the sand drink. Bros in the sand.
Bros in the sand.
Yeah.
That might be
It
the episode title right there.
It might
so,
be.
son of a bitch.
Nobody will see it coming.
Go.
Toes in the sand. Got it. 3
So
minutes
by the
in.
way, Jared said thanks a lot for the shout outs.
Thanks for
Yeah,
the
thanks for,
Hell
thanks for
yeah.
hustling.
This is
another
another
shout out
shout-out.
right here.
hustling every day. I'm hustling.
Thanks for getting the word out. So
You're our hero.
really appreciate it. So
Where are we at?
thank you.
15? 15
We're
followers?
at
13?
13 subs. on
thir-
YouTube.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
up?
it's from 0 to 13. It's pretty good.
Is it lucky? Is it
More
unlucky?
than
Because
zero.
also,
That means at
Green Day's
least
about to wins next Sunday.
that means at least 13 people like us, enough to subscribe. So
Thank
hey,
you.
I like this.
I like this.
I mean, all right. So we have
There
10,
it goes.
we have 10
Brush
people.
teeth to us.
We have 10 people outside of this room.
So there's the 3.
That's good. That's good.
So, but yeah, man. So good weeks. Good week for me. Great fucking week.
Yeah, fuck this week.
So,
I mean, it wasn't a great week for us, but I mean, really, like New England had more to lose by losing that game, and I thought we were super vanilla just across the board. We did some things well, but you know, honestly, like the thing that's held us up most of the year, our defense kind of let us down because we're up in the fourth quarter, and usually we're the ones that are down. Like, but you know, I'm okay with being vanilla because you know, really, it was still
show all your cards.
Yes, exactly. Like so, like you know, some of the listening to some of the Bills podcasts this week, and there's only been one. I haven't listened to today's yet.
So what are you laughing about?
Bills
I
podcast.
think about the.
I listened to the Bills podcast.
I'll think about the hidden weapon thing you said.
The hidden weapon.
Yeah. So keep the team like vanilla, right?
Keep it vanilla, like you know. I mean, going into the
Like a hidden
playoffs, you
weapon.
don't want to show your cards
Okay.
like before
Yeah,
we
I
go.
was thinking like mythical shit,
Oh,
like Josh Allen, the
Yeah,
Titan
I mean,
Slayer.
right,
I was
yeah,
like,
exactly.
damn.
I mean,
Keep him in the vault.
Listen, when he even in a loss, that touchdown pass with heat in his lap,
So,
Josh Allen's ball was huge, dude. He just said, "I don't even give a shit.
so
Watch it fly."
You know who was initially covering John Brown on that
Oh yeah, Stephon Gilmore
Stephon
got
Gilmore,
wrecked
yeah.
on that route.
53-yard touchdown? Like it was a beautiful route, and then
He
McCourty
got him
kind of
around back to him.
McCourty came over top. Like it was a beautiful throw, which we haven't been able to
with
do.
pressure.
Yeah, dudes up in his face, like
see it.
Two.
and then even the Dawson Knox throw, like to end the half, like not end the half, but like with 5 seconds left or 8 seconds left,
Look at my
like
dick.
throwing those over the
Hold my
shoulder.
ball.
Like, so, I mean, we finally hit on some deep balls this week. So I mean, I think that's progress. We lost, we ended up losing, but you know what? Tre'Davious White didn't give up a touchdown, which I said last week.
You know who did in that game?
Stephon Gilmore.
Uh-oh.
So best cover corner in the league.
The
right?
tables have turned.
Oh, here we
What
go.
up? What up?
It's a player of the year race heating up.
I mean, I don't. 6 interceptions.
But that's also, I mean, that could be a mild name thing because Darius Smith, I think, doesn't get his full props.
Oh yeah,
He's virtually changed
Yeah.
our defense overnight.
yeah. Stephon Gilmore is still a great corner. Don't get me wrong. Like ex Buffalo Bill, like loved him when he was there. Like he's kind of. But you talk to him, like you ever hear? You're like, man, that dude's such a good football player. And then you hear him talk in like their press conferences, and you're like, wow, that dude's dumb as fuck. But they're football smart. Like,
Yeah.
so, and you
I
have
expect them to be regular people smart.
yeah. No,
They take
but
a
it's
lot of
stuff
hits.
like-
They have to be.
like for the lockout, like I don't know if you guys remember the lockout, but like I remember like hearing all these like
The other one we're about to have coming up
Well,
in a year or two.
it's gonna be really funny. But Antonio Cromartie, like back in the day, like reaching back in the vault, by the way. So like you hear all these players like, oh, we need to band together, and Antonio Cromartie was like, I gotta pay child support, but and you just hear,
With the real shit, bro.
but you just like you can hardly understand him. He's like child support, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're a good football player. Like, why are you worried about child support?
Yeah, and I don't know how the pay works. Like, I know they get game checks. Like, I don't know if they get a regular salary, like a regular payday. I don't know how that works. I just know the money that they get. That's all they tell us, right? So I would like to think that most people that are making like 12, 10 million on a salary save a fuckload of that, because you can't. Sure, Mayweather walks around with a backpack of $1 million, but if you spend $700,000 a day, kill yourself. Like what the fuck?
That's like first world problems.
It
Like,
seriously is. If you spend $750,000 in a day, get yourself checked or
Like,
get off this
hopefully
planet.
you bought a house.
like
with a lot of shit. A house, a truck, a car, like a camper.
So that's why and Richard Sherman's talking about the players, but he's probably talking about the rookies, because I can see when Rashawn Gary, first round pick, so he's getting the bonuses, he's getting the money. It's like, man, you need to put some of that away. But he's also got Zadarius Smith telling him what to do. They were also caught smoking weed together, but we don't judge here. So I'm just saying, I trust their leadership because of how they responded to that event. We'll say.
Well, I think this collective bargaining agreement is going to be interesting because there's a lot of things. We can talk about this more in the
we'll have a big episode on that.
But like you think about it, so owners want more games. Players, what do they really want? That's really what it comes down to. Like we could talk for days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When that starts, they'll give us some off-season stuff to talk about. So
yeah, we can get into that too. But I think that'll be interesting.
So
for sure.
going back to the Bills game, just to put us on track.
Oh yeah,
we don't want to miss what the people.
We've wandered so far.
I mean, again, a vanilla game, back and forth. Listen to the podcast. Some Bills fans are like, and they do like a Twitter poll, like, Are you like? How do you feel about the playoffs now? Like after the loss to New England, like
I feel like you guys. I mean, you can still beat them. It's a touchdown.
Oh yeah,
it's a touchdown game.
So I mean, here's the thing. All right, so we had more missed tackles than we've had all week or all year.
I was going to say you guys really weren't finishing because like Burkhead was just breaking shit and running people over.
And not that Burkhead's not a good player, but I mean, I like.
He's not no one is taking first.
9 times out of 10, like we're gonna make those tackles. You make a bunch of those tackles. Some people talked about officiating, like kind of affecting the game. Some people talked a little bit about Sean McDermott not challenging that fourth down, the spot of the ball. I think it was Sonny Michel was running the ball. His knee was down and then reached kind of over. So some people were talking about that, like he should have challenged. But he said, look, at that point in the game, like we didn't have a clear angle, a clear evidence that the ball, like where you could see the ball. He said we thought we knew what happened. We thought it was short, but there wasn't visual evidence, and we thought timeouts were going to be a premium in this game. And he was right. Could we have called a timeout late in the game on that 4th and 15 or like 4th and goal on the 15-yard line? Yeah. I think ultimately, really what it came down to, our offensive line did not play well. Our defense, in my opinion, let us down. And, they've been the driving force behind our season. Like, So
you say defense over offense for your season?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The driving force of our team this year has been our defense. So, hey, they had one bad game, and in a bad game, they let up 24 points. And Tom Brady and Bill Belichick had their best offensive game of the year. Okay. Like, I could sleep at night with that.
And I think we said last week or before, like, players just show up. Like, there are just Sundays where people just come out, like,
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not overly disappointed. I'm mad that we lost. I am. I really am.
Because you want to get over that hump. You said that before. You want to get over the Patriots. You just want to.
Yeah, but
you take that next step.
In the end, like I don't think we showed. Like I think there's more stuff in the tank. Like I think our offense. I think Brian Dabble is like he has more out there that he could go, but I think he's saving it. I mean, I might be projecting a little bit, but I mean, I like where he's at. I think he runs a good offense. I think he's got Josh in the right mindset. Like, okay. So, again, Josh had a pretty, marginal stat line. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards passing, not a lot of rushing yards. So, Josh is doing things that real quarterbacks do. He threw a deep ball. He threw 2 deep balls, actually. I mean, he connected on 2 out of, 5.
Phenomenal play. To stare down a sack and throw a touchdown, like, that is just...
He hasn't been
ridiculous.
he hasn't been able to do that. So again, even in a loss, we're showing growth offensively.
Mm-hmm.
So I think again we
I love how, and not to interject, like cut you off, but I love how we're kind of on the same because I have a new coach, and I always see. I mean, there are negatives. The San Fran game was really fucking bad.
Yeah,
but I always try to see the growth. Like in these last 2 weeks, when we get to my game, been huge, and I like. And you say, like, look, we lost, but here's what I saw that was better. Because everyone's just going to be like, well, so you fucking beat the Patriots. Packers need to win better. Like,
shut
the fuck up. Like,
I'm pissed. Don't get me wrong. I'm pissed that we lost.
Yeah,
but
it's the Patriots. Nobody wants to lose Patriots.
Yeah, but our offensive line, I think, regressed. But and our defense did not play up to what we're accustomed to.
I think people expect more of Singletary, too.
Yeah, a little bit. But again,
the big defense you're playing.
He had about 50. They're the number one. I mean, and honestly, they're on a historic. I believe they're still on a historic pace for being.
Is it what most points allowed, or
least points allowed? Like, I mean, so they're a great defense, and it was 15 carries, 76 yards. So that's not like.
And just to ask a question, if defenses win championships, then do you think that Patriots can still win a Super Bowl in the way that Peyton Manning did, just coasting on the defense?
I mean, I think they can. I think Tom Brady is better physically than what Peyton Manning was. However, like. If we make 2 more plays in both our games, like 2 plays in 2 games, we're at least 1-1.
Okay.
Against the Patriots, and I mean, yes, a lot of things have to happen in those 2 plays, but 2 plays, so we're not far away.
Just as you said,
and the Patriots don't scare me.
You said a lot of things have to happen, but Stephon Gilmore did get burned by Brown. I mean, lost him in the route. So
yeah.
That's a positive. I mean, things happen.
Yeah. So I mean, who scares me the most, honestly, in the AFC? Ravens, Chiefs.
Chiefs, really?
Chiefs scare me more than the Patriots because they're more explosive.
People are saying Tyrann Matthews on this big, huge.
Their defense is getting better.
Their defense is getting better. I haven't seen Chiefs game in a while.
Well, in the last 2 games,
they're marginally a bet just because the sheer amount of weapons they have on offense. Like, and I think that's what the Chiefs are. Now, if you can run the ball, which some teams have been able to have success running the ball, has Mahomes been the same quarterback he was last year? No. I think he's still good. He's still an above-average quarterback in the league. Some would even call him great, and I think if you call him a great quarterback in the league, I think that's good. I think it's just too early to be like, oh, he's a perennial great quarterback. I think he's good.
Ketchup on steak.
Yeah,
you won't let him forget that.
Listen, yeah. No, but you're right. Like it is. I made the Michael Vick thing, and it's way too early for Lamar Jackson because next year people run an extra linebacker, maybe run more spy against them. You never know.
I mean, Cleveland blew that game. Like I watched a lot of that game, and Cleveland blew that game. The Ravens, I don't want to say they're not good because I think they're very, very good. But if you can stop the run, and that's a big ask.
Yeah, it is. Well, especially now Mark Ingram's actually significantly injured because I haven't heard.
I've heard calf, but I don't know how significant.
He's going to sit this week.
Yeah, definitely going to sit.
Well, they get a bye, right? They're the first. So he'll be fine. He'll be back.
Yeah. I think he'll be back by the second week of the playoffs, but
they sat too long.
Yeah, that's the question.
It's very weird, because coming out of the bye against San Francisco, we obviously look like ass. But I think the team actually partied too hard because we went a day early.
Yeah.
But the other thing is it is weird when you have your bye in the regular season and you can come out hot. Some teams do. In the playoffs, if you take a week off in the playoffs, sometimes they really dicks you. It's really strange.
Yeah.
So, Green Bay won the Super Bowl from the wild card in, so they never stopped playing.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is so maybe I'm not saying the Ravens will lose favor because of that, but I'm saying they haven't run in 2 weeks, or at least Mark Ingram hasn't at that point, So
3 weeks,
so a month almost of just drills because he's injured. Think about it.
So
have an impact.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, I think is continues to exceed expectations. Do I think he will come back to earth Eventually, yes.
Yeah,
But
I mean, at some
the way
point,
he's making people miss, though.
well, because here was the answer to Vic dogfighting. And I'm just saying because up until a certain point,
Yeah, I mean,
nobody was really stopping. So unless Lamar Jackson fucks up royally,
does Lamar have a
He should be
brother
okay.
that? Does Lamar have a brother that should be like just put down for sheer stupidity?
I don't know.
I don't think so. So what is stopping Lamar Jackson? And that sounds really bad. Like, but Marcus Vick
No,
is
but it's the point though. It's like dogfighting stopped Michael Vick, so we don't know the answer to the question.
like, I will say Michael
When he
Vick.
came back,
Michael Vick played his best football under Andy Reid as a passer.
yeah,
But
and he made use of his speed though.
yeah,
A lot of
but
draws, a lot of sweeps.
But here's the thing with Lamar. Lamar is a better passer at this stage in his career
Right
than
now,
than Michael Vick
Explosively different too from last
than Michael Vick was. And I think Greg Roman doesn't get enough credit for how well he's.
Now, you say that game because you're obviously looking at the Ravens as your biggest competition in the AFC, but Lamar did rally with his tight end.
Oh yeah, which
I mean,
I
they
have.
did-
I have him on my fantasy team.
blown coverage. So
They missed a sack on the second one. Clock management as well. I don't know how much you guys were watching of that game, but
I had it on background playing Rocket League.
they
Priorities.
had an so Cleveland had an opportunity to take it down to the 2-minute warning. They did not, and then out of that, the Ravens got 2 possessions. And you can say a lot of things, but it would have been under 2 minutes with the Ravens getting the ball back, even if Cleveland didn't do anything. So Cleveland, I can't even remember. Did they kick the field goal like right around the 2-minute mark, something like that?
I don't remember, but I do know what you're talking about.
But so like they could have taken it under 2 minutes on that first drive and only given them 1, maybe 2 opportunities, and then after the Ravens score, they go 3 and out on 3 pass plays. So
yeah, like I was saying, and my friend, my buddy argues with me about the OBJ thing because he's like OBJ's locker room cancer. I'm like, I think it's Baker, dude. I think it's Baker. Baker.
I can see that.
They gave him a lot. Like the commercials thing matters because he gets paid every time he gets played.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's an ego boost, 100%. If they locked him into a
He already has the ego.
guaranteed 16 weeks, people are going to see this commercial. That's money.
and they're funny commercials. I mean, he actually does a good job with
The smoke detector one, suck my dick. It is so annoying because I think it's mine.
Yeah,
So
there's some funny ones.
yeah,
Like
I mean they're very well done.
yeah,
Right.
So I mean, I get it, but Baker did something that hasn't been done in the last. I can't even tell you in the last I want this guy in my franchise as a Cleveland quarterback. Like I mean,
eyes to the product.
he's taken the bull by the horn, so to speak, and just he is someone that's like, look, I'm Cleveland's quarterback. I'm the fucking guy. Like, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Like,
Listen to me.
Fuck you. I'm all about Cleveland.
I'll sympathize with them in the aspect like when people booed 2 years ago in Lambeau, I'm like, fuck you pigs. Like, you're gonna boo Aaron Rodgers in a down year, get fucked. Like, you should know if you're the home team and you're at home, if you're booing, leave immediately and never watch sports again.
Yeah, leave.
Like, you can disagree and you can be down on players, but you should not boo your team as a performance. All 53 guys.
Yeah.
It's not all their faults.
Right.
No. I mean, there's so much that goes.
Like,
into
holy
it.
shit, man. Like, I understand the quarterback gets a bad rap because he's carrying the team.
Oh yeah.
But quarterbacks have bad days too.
Yeah.
Eli Manning just had a fuckload of them. Poor guy. But he beat Tom Brady twice, so those weren't
in
bad
the
days.
Super Bowl.
That's all you can ask from him.
But and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing with Baker. Like, his offensive line is not the same as what it was last year.
True.
Like he is. I don't want to say running for his life, but he doesn't trust his offensive line, and he
He
shouldn't.
can run it with something.
Now, should they? In my opinion, should they go through Chubbs? Like I guess I'm an old school football guy. Like, your running game should set up, and Chubbs.
No. You know why? It's because it works. Like, look what it did for us last night.
Look at what it did for the Patriots last year. And I'm
Yeah,
not
exactly.
saying the Patriots weren't the same team even last year.
But Gronk helped with the running game.
Gronk helped in the running game and in the passing game because he can block and run routes and be effective. Like, where you don't know, where some teams they'll bring in their blocking tight end, and you kind of know, so you can put 8-10 guys in the box and really be like, okay, like if the third string blocking
matchups right now.
If the third string blocking tight end can beat me, beat my safety, or even beat a linebacker, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Whereas Gronk, like, you better have your best cover guy on him.
You got your best guy on him at all times.
And you still might, you still
has a chance to
probably
catch it.
are not going to win that. Like, not even probably has a chance. Like, you probably aren't going to win that matchup. And like, that was Gronk's career. Like,
Freak.
yeah, I mean,
but anyway, so revert back to the competition
and back to the Bills.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm like, no AFC opponent really scares me. I mean, and I don't mean that to say like I think we're gonna win. Like
Josh's massive sack.
He ain't scared.
Who knows?
Josh's massive sack.
Y'all know what it's about.
Frozen Sand and Josh's massive sack, so we got 2.
But no, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I think we're gonna wreck the playoffs. But no one scares me.
Yeah.
Like I think we can play, and we've proven that we can play with everybody.
Blow
Top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think really it's Baltimore. They have a good defense. Marcus Peters really. Houston. So we play Houston right now. We play Houston. Like I'm not scared of Houston. I'm more scared of
versus y'all. Like it's just like it's a game. Like that's the only
like
way to describe it.
and that's you listen to like the press conferences and you sit and like Sean McDermott's like basically like we're gonna do what's best for our football this week, but they're like, oh well, does it matter if you play the Chiefs or the Texans? And he said no. He said and I think he said it better than I'm gonna say it right now. But he was like, I've been on teams before, and he said, basically, we felt good about different opponents coming into like a playoff game, and we've been whacked. Like we basically got waxed, and we felt bad about different opponents, but we played a really good game and we won. So it doesn't matter so much who you play; it's how you play the game. If you trust your fundamentals, if you trust what you've been preaching all year, and you trust
Take him a church coach,
and you trust
preach it.
You trust what has gotten you to this point. At the end of the day, if you guys play well, if you play better than the other team, it doesn't matter who it is. Like you're gonna win the game.
Praise the football gods.
I mean,
clap it on up.
Yeah. So that's Sean McDermott.
I love you, Coach.
I'm paraphrasing Sean McDermott.
Justin does coach in real life on the side. So
I do. But I mean,
it's very veil recanted, sir. I'd play for you.
It's kind of it is one of those things.
Denzel can't top that one.
Denzel could. Let's just be real. But it sounds cliche and it sounds silly sometimes. But you do the fundamentals. Yeah, and I mean, like he's all about player-driven leadership. He is like as far as the growth mindset goes. Like I've read books about growth mindset. Like, and it works for whether it's sports, it works in business, it works, I use it, in my real job, like every day. Like, you have to have this mindset that, I'm not a complete person. I'm not a complete athlete. I'm not a complete, whatever.
It's like as good as like certain athletes and players are on teams. You still have to have something cohesive enough to go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just look at all the talent all over the league right now. Like Dallas included, their biggest problem is probably coaching and staff.
Yeah,
right.
Because on paper, matchup-wise,
Dallas should not be 500 under 500.
They can kill a lot of teams.
Like, gosh, like give me Zeke. Like Zeke is someone that like legit. Like he touches the ball. Like I don't expect less than 5 yards.
Yeah.
Like. And that,
say about Aaron Jones now.
I mean, yeah. Like there's certain guys that you're just like, wow. Like every time they touch the ball, it's 5 yards. Like that's you're 2nd and 5. You're and I mean obviously Zeke can get negative yards. He can get a 1 yard gain. He can get a 0 yard. It's the NFL. They get paid to play.
Yeah.
Like, but like some of the talent and for me like watching a few games Dallas. Watching the Bills play him, like I think we could have struggled more with Zeke if they would not have went away from him, like in our game. And
that's what the answer saying. But as I said before, like again, talent wise, I think they might be miscoached. And then the way that would answer the question is, if you get a new coach in there and they're still bad, then okay, then you can say it is this person, this person, this person.
Oh yeah.
But your guys' defense, like, it's just so suffocating at times.
Yeah,
It's just like I didn't expect. I mean, I didn't expect Zeke to get so balled up. But I was just like, damn, like.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's hard to run against these dudes.
There are times where our
the Bills'
defense,
D line has been good for a long ass time though.
I feel like since Sean McDermott has been here, like we've done a really good job with our defense. Our defense has been top 5, 10. We were top 3 last year. We're the number 2 defense as far as scoring. Kind of that traditional bend don't break. Leslie Frazier is a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, those red zone tutters.
We're like top 5 in red zone this year again. Top 5 in the league as far as defensive, like, most of your defensive stats. Our pass defense, partly because of Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, who I still believe best safety tandem in the league, just because they've been able to do it for 3 years. And that's no offense to like your Earl Thomases, like Legion of Boom. I don't think they're on that level, but I do think they are right now the best tandem in the league because they've been doing it for years. They get interceptions. Poyer punches out a ball this week early in the game, and then Micah Hyde returns it and is looking to score.
Yeah, I was actually doing it too. Micah already.
Yeah, so I mean, they work so well together, and it's not that they're the most dominant players in the league. They're just really good at what they do. They know the defense, and they're hungry. They're hungry to win. So our defense is really, really good, and that's
man believes in his defense,
and that's why no one scares me in the AFC, including and really honestly the Ravens. I want another shot at them. And Steve Tasker brought up a great point this year. In 4 out of 5 of our losses, we had a chance to win or tie the game on the last drive. So in football, that's what you want. Like, I mean, really, you want to be able to win the game or at least tie the game on your last drive. Now, do you want to win more of those than lose them? Yeah. But Josh has come back 3-4 times in the fourth quarter. This year. Josh in the offense. So because it's not just Josh, but we've come back. I don't know the exact number of fourth quarter comebacks the Bills have had this year, but it's been majority of our wins, and we're a 10-win team. So I'm okay. Again, to summarize kind of this week, I think our defense kind of let us down but only in the fact that, we're so used to our defense doing so well. But, anytime you play an all-time great.
Who do you guys play next week?
We play the Jets. So
you're going to close out with a W?
Potentially. But, it doesn't matter because there's no seeding on the line.
Let's say, how do you feel about if you guys win this game, does it add or subtract anything for you guys at all?
It really doesn't mean anything.
So would you be okay with starters not playing, or do you want them to play to stay hot because you're going into a wild card?
So
even now, because the reason I ask, and I'm going to throw a lot at you here, is it if they play 20 questions, if they play and lose, does that hurt them mentally going into the wild card? Well, it's a multi-layered thing.
So I think I don't think the mindset of our team is to lose back-to-back games. So far, we have not done that this year.
You guys have been consistent with that, especially coming off the Patriots. Probably a little bit more pissed.
Yeah. So, the Jets don't really have anything to play for. We're playing at home. It's our season finale. So I expect a win. Now, with that said, if there's certain players that I don't think should play in this game. Right. Not that I don't want to, but more like Josh, for example. I don't want Josh to play, not because I don't want him to do certain things, because I want to protect him from himself, because I don't think he's developed in that sense. I think Josh is one of the ultimate competitors in the NFL. He is the guy that you want to be.
He likes to win.
He wants to win, and he's going to do it all. It's evidence. I was talking to one of my friends this week, and they were like, "Oh, Lamar Jackson. He doesn't really, he kind of he's smart. He slides. He does some things, and he better along the lines of, oh, Lamar better keep sliding, otherwise he's going to be out of the league like RG3. And
well,
I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah.
But so we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, Josh is a good running quarterback." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "He needs to learn how to." No, I'm sorry. No, we weren't watching Lamar. We were watching Carson Wentz because we were like, "Oh, Carson needs to learn how to slide because he dove like head first, or something like that." And I was like, "He slides better than Josh." And he was like, "Oh, what?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Josh doesn't slide. He tries to run over people." And he was like, "Does he?"
does.
And I was like, "Yes."
You heard Anthony Barr.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. When we get to my segment, and Dakota, he's with me on this. Fuck Anthony Barr.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck him.
Forever.
But
Just
so
fuck the team.
that's the only reason why I
Fuck
don't
that
want Josh to
franchise,
play.
bro.
But I do. I the other side of me, and I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I want Josh to play because I think he has. He's accounted for like 29 touchdowns, 20 passing touchdowns, and 9 rushing touchdowns. I would really like Josh to get 10 rushing touchdowns. And
You grab me the sour out of the fridge there, Dakota.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you could have said that.
I should have.
he tried
Sorry.
to, like in multiple
I
ways.
tried to
be a little
I
professional,
actually
but-
knew what he was.
I
trying
thought
to
you
say.
mouthed Star Wars to me, and I was
Yeah,
like,
let's go Star Wars right now.
I
Yeah,
didn't
let's
know
do
when
that.
you wanted to go.
Yeah, no, I want Josh to have 10 touchdowns rushing, 10 or 20 touchdowns passing, because that's what he could do.
You want to utilize what he has while he
yeah.
has it.
Yeah, which is 30 touchdowns. I think Jim Kelly has 34 or 35 somewhere, the franchise record. So yeah, I mean, I want Josh to play in that sense, but it means nothing to us as far as the playoffs. So and Matt Barkley is kind of a jet killer. He was with us for 12 days, started and blew out the Jets last year. So I want to see what we have in our backup quarterback too, to a certain extent, because
Feel that.
you never know. Like, you are one play away from being as good as your backup quarterback. So I don't mind playing Barkley. Now, Tre'Davious White, I wouldn't mind him sitting just because, you just never know. And he's our best defender.
Right.
Edmonds, same thing as far as the middle linebacker position. Do I think Cole Beasley, John Brown, do I think they need to sit the whole game? I think you play him a little bit, but I think, you allow your kind of your younger, your Ruben, your Bob Fosters, your Duke Williams, those receivers. I think you allow them to play this last week and really,
Thanks, bro.
kind of more of an evaluation, because we're in our uncharted territory. Like, the last time we made the playoffs, we needed 7 things to happen, and Andy Dalton made it happen.
Old milkman.
So,
Milkman.
like,
I haven't heard that one before.
this is just, it's so unfamiliar. We clinched with 2 weeks to go. So,
Nice,
Feels good.
nice Christmas gift.
yeah, and we had a chance at division. So, I think, again, I could go either way with starting players, or if you're about stats and you don't think you're going to win the Super Bowl, yes, play your players. But if you want,
on a stat.
if you're about any stat, like whether it's wins, touchdowns, like all those kind of things, like, go ahead, like, start everybody.
Right.
If you're not, if you're about playoff wins, which I think this team is, I think you're going to see some people sit. Are you going to see everybody sit?
So we'll just go ahead and say one more week ahead. You make it out of the wild card, yeah? What's your ceiling for the Buffalo Bills right this second?
I think
Prior to this week's game.
I think we could compete for a Super Bowl. Like, I really do. Like, and I'm like, because of our defense. Like, and I'm not saying that
You don't have to convince me. I want to hear what you believe. You're the fan.
I don't. Think,
A lot of fans, and I'm just gonna say this because of just people that have talked to me this week about how much the Vikings were gonna win. Fans don't tell me why. It's just, well, they are.
It's just because.
It's just, yeah, exactly. Well, Rodgers is old. What the fuck does that mean? Why?
Yeah.
What do you? Why? Tell me why. Even if it's bullshit.
At least
if you
have a
say-
reason.
Even if you say his 5-yard pass is like sketchy, like if that's what you believe, and I know you're wrong, that's fine. But give me substance. So you don't need to sell them. Just tell me why they're gonna go, they can compete for a title.
I mean,
Convince me.
convince
Yeah,
you. I,
tell
mean, I think our defense speaks for itself. We're a top 5 defense. I think Josh Allen again has shown growth in our offense in general. Like, I think Singletary is a special back. Like, I really do. Like, he makes people miss, and he makes them look stupid. Like, on the outside. Like, that's impressive. We have receivers, in John Brown and Cole Beasley, who are quietly both. I think John Brown's at 1,100 yards. Which again, early in the season, he's talking about a number one. What does your number one do? He gets 1,000 yards, and John Brown has a chance to, like, depending if he plays or not. Like, he's 1,100. He's an 1,100 yard receiver right now.
Nice.
So that
Media won't tell you.
Exactly.
that checks the
The
boxes.
facts.
To me,
The
that
facts.
checks the boxes as the number one guy.
Yeah.
Cole
No
Beasley.
spin zone here.
Cole Beasley.
John Brown.
Again,
John Brown.
I mean,
Him.
I think Cole would have to go off. Which let me.
And he could.
I mean, he could.
He's had days.
He
Why not?
has, but I mean,
The vanilla monster.
I think it'd be pretty outrageous if he went for 1,000
Let's go
yards.
get another beer if you need one, bro.
But
Fridge is down here.
let's see. Let me tell you how many yards Cole
Yeah.
Beasley.
He's
had.
got to look up stats. You got a second to go grab yourself a beer for you.
So
It's okay.
Cole's at 778 yards. So if he got, I mean, he'd have to do work like 220 yards.
Could you fucking imagine?
But John Brown, sorry, he's not quite at 1,000. So he's at 1,100. He's at 1,060 yards on 72 catches, 6 touchdowns. Like, I mean,
Good year.
Cole Beasley is almost 800 yards, almost 70 catches, 68 catches, 6 touchdowns. So I mean, again, your top two guys, you're getting 1,800 yards out of. Like, that's what you kind of want. Dawson Knox, 400, 400 yards catching, 400 yards on 28 grabs, 2 TDs. I'd like to see
Open
him
it in the mic so they know.
I'd
That's
like
what I do.
I'd like to see him connect on a few more, balls. Singletary, about 200 yards receiving, and let's see, he has 775 yards after not really playing. He missed 3 games with a hamstring injury, and he wasn't the number one guy week 1, so almost 1,000 yards. He's not going to get there, I don't think. And then Frank Gore, 500, almost 600 yards. Josh Allen, 500 yards rushing. Over 3,000 yards
How many
passing.
hurdles does he have this year?
Not really a lot.
I thought that it was compared Josh Allen's run history and Tom Brady's over their careers.
Yeah. Josh Allen this year has
It's already
more-
the halfway there.
Yeah. No, Josh Allen, I think
Damn.
already
He
this.
passed him in yards, I think.
For-
but had less touchdowns.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
That's still hilarious.
he's working on touchdowns,
Yeah.
but in his 2 years, like, he has more rushing yards than Tom Brady. But
20.
Which isn't really that hard. I think we all collectively have more rushing yards than Tom Brady in terms of how much we've
But Brady still
run.
had like 25 touchdowns. I was like, how?
QB sneaks.
And and how many times did he have to crawl to them?
So-
right there.
So I mean,
There's no way.
Well, I mean, he does. When he was younger, he did a lot of like goal line dives. I mean, he's
Yeah.
long, so he can just reach over.
But I mean, I think the reason why I think we have a chance, like, do I think we're going to win the Super Bowl? Honestly, I do not think.
Against us,
I Why?
I
I think you guys are going to have trouble with the Saints.
well, we're gonna get to that because I agree.
The Saints, I think the
Saints are what's keeping me up at night.
49ers for you guys, I don't think the 49ers are playing
I
quite
would
as well.
like to get another stab at him just to see what we could do.
But I mean, I think the AFC and the NFC,
I would like the 49ers to beat the Saints in the playoffs, and we could just beat the Niners, and fuck it, there we are. Hey!
which tells me that you're more scared of the Saints.
Why not?
I am, dude. I just told you.
I know.
I ain't gonna lie about it. That speaks the truth.
Well, I remember in the beginning of the season, I said who you think
Hour show.
the best NFC team was, and I said the Saints.
Oh yeah,
And you disagreed. This is like week 6, though.
No. I disagreed in week 6.
the
Week
Saints.
6, he was feeling them, but now he's
Because
scared.
Bridgewater
But-
was still unproven at that point.
Well, there was that, and there was the Seahawks were like starting to win. So I didn't even know about us.
Beast mode's back. Yeah.
It's news, but it's
Yeah.
news.
So, anyways, like,
It isn't capital NEW small s.
Breaking.
It isn't news.
but yeah, I think overall, no one in the NFL this year. I think there are elite teams, and I think there's probably 4 elite teams on each side. There's 3 to 4 elite teams in each, NFC, AFC, and none of them really, they remind me a lot of the Bills, except some of the teams are more offensive, and have just been there, kind of done that more often. Like, I think that the 49ers are in a very similar boat to us. They play really good defense. They do enough on offense, but they're unproven as far as their playoff, runs. Even the Packers, I think, have more proven playoff success than the Bills, the 49ers, even the Ravens. Just because you guys are a franchise that have been there, done that. Like, yeah, you guys had a down year last year, but everyone and their mother was hurt, including Rodgers. So, Rodgers has the playoff experience. Lamar really doesn't. So, what do the playoffs do? So that's the only thing that worries me. Like, the things that worry me are internal. Like, it's not anything that any other team is bringing to the table, because I think we've proven that we can play with anybody. The only team we've not lost to that sounds really funny. By more than a touchdown, we lost to the Patriots twice by 6 and 7 points, so 13 points total. We lost to the Ravens by 6 or 7.
So you definitely feel good. You feel strong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And again, I think there's more for us to show on offense. I don't think we're like letting it rip. I think we're a very conservative team when it comes to right now. But I think in the playoffs we'll be ready to go. We'll show some stuff, and that's kind of
playing confident.
Yeah, Josh.
What more could you ask for?
I mean, Josh threw, I think, what was it, 5 or 6 turnovers in the first 4 games. So he threw for 5 or 6 interceptions.
Right.
He has 9 all year. So
it's a big improvement from last year.
Huge. Again, if Josh takes care of the ball, whether it's rushing or fumbling or throwing interceptions, I think we have a chance against anybody. Right. Now, I think the one area that I'm concerned with is, and this is where I think I've seen growth, but I want to see more, is Josh now, instead of running out of the pocket and kind of throwing it up for grabs and trying to play that hero ball, he'll take the sack. He'll take an unnecessary sack, where I think he could do a better job of throwing the ball away.
Right.
Word. So, who would you guys have to play first potentially? Do you even know? Is it too early to tell?
Well, Houston right now, and again.
So, all right. So, well, let's just say your next week's game, you. It's not that you don't care, but you're fine either way. Either sit them and not play, or start them and win.
I would, yeah. Like this week means little to nothing to me. Like, again, we were predicted to win six games this year.
So then, in 60 seconds, and I'll tell you when to go. We're just going to start adding stuff. We're going to see how it works, see what people like. Tell me what you guys would need to do to beat the Texans, if that's who you guys have to play first, and go.
So 60 seconds. All right, so take care of the ball, number one. Really should be any, and then, control the line of scrimmage. Those are the 2 things that we need to do. Take care of the ball and control the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively, and we win the game. Because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control Deshaun Watson. I think, this would be an awesome challenge for Trey White and Hopkins. I think Fuller's been hurt just about every year, or like every, he's been hurt most of the season, like on and off, whether it's hamstring injuries or whatnot. So they don't have that like burner guy. But Hopkins historically hasn't torched a number 1 corner, and Trey is a number 1 corner.
Yeah.
So.
Less than 60 seconds, he said, "Fuck with my Bills." That's basically what he said.
Don't fuck.
He said, "I don't need a whole minute, man."
Like, I'm just saying, like, controllable, like turnovers is huge.
And we'll talk about our turnovers because we had them. But Dakota, we're gonna let you go first because mild flex again. We shook hands in the beginning. Kings of the North over here once again.
Okay, I know how I felt last season. That's okay.
Yes, you know where I'm at. Well, it's not in a not shitbag way. Rarer for you guys than myself. In terms of recent years.
That's true.
So the Bears. So what happened, man?
So I didn't even feel like we were in the game for even a moment. Like, our opening drive was okay, and then because Mitch ran like 4 times on the opening drive, got a couple of first downs, or stopped at midfield, and then I think on Sunday we saw like a completely different Kansas City defense. Like, they've been different lately. I don't know if it's Tyrann Mathieu or...
I've seen a lot of Tyrann Mathieu stuff.
Yeah, they're definitely improved from the beginning of the season, I think. But, yeah, I still think we didn't have anything last night on Sunday. No explosiveness or anything.
I saw your crying face react to my Facebook status, by the way.
Yeah, that shit was funny. I thought I would do that to fuck with you.
Yeah. I feel you, though. I was like, no, my boy. But I can't be happy for your win. So
yeah, that's true. I don't blame you.
If you were a Vikings fan, this show would not work.
Yeah.
It really would.
You think they're worse?
We're going to talk about it because of the amount of shit and the amount of tweets and the amount of stuff that I've had to read about why the Vikings were going to be so good and why this and why that and why they paid Kirk Cousins $84 million motherfucking dollars.
We'll
So that way he
know.
can only have 4 completed passes before halftime. Vikings suck. Fat dick. But we'll get to it when it's my turn.
That's our middle ground.
Exactly.
I'll just say mostly last week you guys both picked against the Vikings, so I kind of wanted to get a rise out of Robbie. I didn't quite get it last week, but I feel like I'm gonna feel the wrath today.
For not picking, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think we see a lot more of the Vikings than, I guess, obviously you don't pay as much attention to our divisional games, but
Oh yeah,
somebody who sees more of the Vikings, you kind of see, like, where they struggle at the most.
yeah. Oh yeah, you guys definitely know the Vikings better than me. I'm not gonna say I don't. Like, I think from an outsider's perspective, I think they're that team that, even last year, I think when they first got Kirk Cousins, which was last year, right?
Yeah, thanks.
So the year before that, they went to the NFC Championship game, beat the Saints, granted on a miracle kind of like Hail Mary play. They had all the pieces except for that, that franchise quarterback. Whether you believe Kirk Cousins is the franchise quarterback, he puts up numbers.
Yeah.
So coming into to last year, you're like, wow, like Kirk Cousins, like he should be able to take them.
He changed that team.
He should be able to take them over the top.
Right.
And they had those Super Bowl aspirations, expectations, whatever you want to call it, which every team should want to win a Super Bowl. But you take that and you're like, okay, they have a solid defense. And I think when they went to the NFC Championship game, they had a top 5, a top tier defense.
Right.
So you're like, okay, if you add some offensive weapons, you have Diggs, you have the tight end. They draft another tight end. The other receiver that they have, Thigpen? No, not Thigpen.
Talking about Rudolph?
Thielen?
Yeah,
Or-
Thielen.
Oh,
I'm
Thielen.
sorry.
I thought you said tight end.
Rudolph?
Yeah, I thought you said tight ends. I'm sorry.
Well, the tight end Rudolph. They
Okay.
drafted Irvin Jr.
I'm just trying to stay as silent as possible because I have a lot.
Yeah, no. So
So-
you think as a non NFC guy, you're like, okay, that makes sense that they would do well. Bears last year, obviously they came out of nowhere. Khalil, they make the huge trade.
Back to nowhere now.
They make the huge trade with Khalil Mack. You're like, okay, all right, I get it. I get it why the Vikings regressed, kind of year 2. So this year was kind of the year that I looked, and they have played actually a lot better than I think most people thought. But now you have the Packers that they're getting some they're getting contributions from young players.
Kevin King's got 5 INTs on the year. Count them.
They have a defense, which I think is something that the Packers
We haven't had in a decade.
Yeah, Robbie, you can probably attest to this more than anybody. But
I miss you, Charles.
but so you have the offense to go with the defense, and in today's NFL, the offense has an advantage over the defense, even the great ones. So things are just not lining up for the Vikings. Now, will they go to the playoffs? I think they've clinched the play.
Fuck them. I don't even know. I don't even care.
But they're a
Fuck
6
'em.
seed.
It definitely is.
So I mean, yeah, could they do some damage? Yeah, of course they can.
Anybody
Anybody,
play us round 1.
you have to be in the
Alabama.
dance. You have to be in the dance to win. But a lot of the things that were working for them 2 years ago, they're just not. Is Kirk Cousins a better quarterback than
Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than he was fucking yesterday.
No, but
Right here
is he a,
first.
I respected him in Redskins, but then when he came in his first year was a Viking, I'm like, all right, let's just see what he can do. When I found out, this guy's trash. Fuck him. He's a great human being, but no respect in our division, buddy.
yeah? But
They're amazing outside the division, but they can't beat anybody in the division. Inside the walls of the NFC North, they're ass.
So I mean that's all. That's my outside perspective on the Vikings,
Right.
Which I think is a pretty
Yeah,
accurate.
it's accurate.
I'm an outside fan. We got more to
A
say.
lot more outside fans think Kirk Cousins is better than they really is.
And even though we did shit on Harrison
I'm not saying
Smith
Justin does, but
before.
Well, I think he is what he is. I think he's the Matt Stafford. I mean, he's a Matt Stafford. He's going to put up between
Right.
3,500 and 5,000 yards.
And only win 3 games.
That's-
He's
the
gonna
show.
he's gonna throw a fair amount of interceptions. He's gonna throw a lot of touchdowns too.
Yeah.
So if you have the defense, and this is where I think the projection is, if you have the defense that is a top 5 or top 10 defense, yeah, you can win with that. fuck, Jameis Winston is winning. Like, he has a good defense.
And losing at the same
throws
time.
for
Doesn't make any sense.
and throws for about 400 yards a game. Like, he's about to break. If he throws another, like, he could be first all time for the most yards thrown in your first 5 years. Like, he's
And not
two
play
or
for a team.
he's 2 or 3 right now. Like, the only person I think ahead of him is Peyton Manning for the first
last week.
Yeah, after last week.
They
So-
were just now talking about extending him. He threw 2 pick sixes in a row.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
so
Yeah, I mean that's where you guys exploited too, though, because your corners, of course, scored immediately.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like, you know, and your guys' division is so competitive. I mean, everybody but the Giants really had a chance this year. Or, I'm sorry, not the Giants, the Lions.
Yeah.
Everybody had a chance.
Right.
Like, you really, at the beginning of the season, I think everybody, we're going to do it this year. But I think the Vikings, the Packers, and the Bears all thought, like, hey, this is our division.
Especially after last year.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, 'cause
for
the
you
Bears
guys,
had more
for you
going
guys
in.
especially. Yeah.
So,
Right.
but when they played this last week, like, you still
I didn't even recognize that team. That might have been the worst game all season
think so?
on both sides of the ball. I just, like I said, Kansas City's defense kind of surprised everybody. And even then, we couldn't put any plays together. We had so many drop passes. And, like, the first play in, Anthony Miller on
We watched
the
our
jet
game.
sweep.
You guys drop a lot.
Which is not.
Like I said, that's why
Like, we
I think
drop a
Pat
lot,
Coe
but
was
damn, they
more.
drop a lot.
Well, I think, you know, I think there's more drops in the NFL now than there was 10 years ago. And I don't think it's because, like, the players are better. I think you're getting better athletes, but just because you're an athlete doesn't necessarily mean you can catch. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, even like, before Amari Cooper went to Dallas, like, the reason why the Raiders let him go is because he dropped so many freaking balls. Like,
and
he,
now look at him.
he dropped
Look at him.
he dropped a ton of balls. Is he a freak? Yes. I mean, is he Julio Jones? No. But he's about the closest thing to him as far as a physical specimen. Like, he's
Because
big.
AB isn't in the league.
AB is not a physical specimen. AB is
Small and
fa-
fast.
He's fast and
Just
he's
defies
quick.
the laws of physics.
Right.
Like, he's your prototypical, like, your average guy that is just electric. But Julio's a freak. Like, he is a specimen. He's a Megatron, but not quite as big. Like,
Okay.
your DK Metcalf, a freak. He's a specimen. Like, but does he have the best hands? No. He wasn't even
Michael Thomas.
the best receiver on his college team. DK.
Interesting. I just now got into college this year, so I mean,
But I mean, he was at Ole Miss. He was the number 2 receiver on his team. The Titans Brown, I think it was AJ Brown,
who we passed on, I think.
who a lot of teams passed on, was the best receiver for Ole Miss, and he's balling out pretty nicely for Tennessee.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I'm saying. Like, just because you're the freak,
So
you
what
know,
they're saying is, Dakota, is you got a team of freaks that can't catch.
That's how I feel.
What-
You see the catches they make, and you see how it feels when they drop it.
But no,
It's
no,
like,
no,
why?
all I'm saying, I'm not saying you guys have freaks like, you know, your Megatrons, but like I'm saying we have more.
Watson's big.
We have more athletic big guys that don't necessarily have soft hands. You don't have, like, there's not too many guys. Hopkins, I think, is the closest thing to, like, your Randy Moss hands. Like, Randy Moss, he's got big hands and they're soft. Like, there's guys in the league that do it, but there's not a lot of guys that do it.
But you're right, you know, be able to catch an egg from like a fucking
Yeah.
like park garage, yeah.
So, I mean, that's where I'm at on it. Like, yeah, we have these freaks that are awesome that, you know, usually would play, like, defensive end or, you know, even running back. I mean, like, you know, usually your freaks play some of those positions that are, you know, or even cornerback. Like, you know, there's a lot of guys that play receiver now that, you know, 20 years ago probably would have played defense.
Yeah.
And that's just because of the, you know, the athletes that they were. You know, certain teams in college, like, you know, you look at, and you know, I'm not a huge college guy, but you look at Virginia Tech. Historically, they've had a really good defense, and they've had 1 or 2 playmakers. And the reason behind that is the defensive coordinator would always be like, hey, I want the best athletes on my side of the ball. So he would get all those guys that could play both ways because, you know, in high school, a lot of those guys would play, offense, defense, and
Right.
they'd have their choice. Like, what do you want to play in college? Do you want to play cornerback or do you want to play wide receiver? Do you want to play, this or do you want to play that? And he said, I want the best athletes on defense. And I mean, I think overall, like, historically, that's where the league's been. Like, Dion was one of the best athletes in the league, like, forever. Like, even like Khalil Mack's a great, he's a great athlete. JJ Watt is a great athlete, despite his size. Like, you have guys in different size categories. But on offense, to me, some of the best athletes are your running backs or your quarterbacks. Like, Lamar Jackson, I don't think anybody can argue that he might be the most athletic guy in the league. Like, just because he can do it all. Like, I'm sure if you
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's right there too. I mean, he can do it all, but like, I think there is a shift where now the best athletes in the NFL are going to, the offensive side of the ball, and I'm okay with that.
Mahomes.
So,
Yeah.
Dakota. Hey, it's Christmas Eve special, everybody. You have to sit through a lot.
Special 2-hour Christmas Eve special.
But
We started at 2 o'clock.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
5:50 right
But yeah, I mean, even like I said, when we were watching our game, I feel like you guys have a lot of drops. As Steve was saying, like, I mean, where's your identity as the Bears? Because last year it was this suffocating balls to the wall defense, but you still had Amos at the time.
Right.
So what's going on, bro?
So I mean,
What do you guys need? Like, is it?
I keep asking myself that. I'm like,
Because I think you guys are good. Like Fuller is.
You guys are great at
better
quarterback.
play calling.
Fuller,
What do you say?
I
Fuller
think you guys are
balled-
great at quarterback.
Yeah.
Fuller
Good
balled
at
out. And even Mitch, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. Do I think he's an elite quarterback? Do I think he's Aaron Rodgers? No. Do I think he's even Kirk Cousins? No. Like,
I think again, I would be more afraid of what Mitch has around him versus Kirk, straight up.
well, I think Mitch also has that second dimension. He has that he's
He
able to
can
run.
play football. Kirk is bad at football.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
It's just hard to watch.
Jared's gonna love this.
Like the picture of Kevin King I saw him throw last night. I was like,
Dude, Kevin.
why'd you throw it?
Kevin King's been great, and Jared's gonna love this episode because even though he doesn't agree with you as a Bears fan, we both love the Vikings. We both hate the Vikings.
It's the fuck
Awesome. But so who you guys close out with?
the Vikings.
Beat them. Fucking beat
And
them.
there's no reason we should. It's in Minnesota again, but I mean,
You already beat them. Did you already beat them at home?
we beat them at home with Dalvin Cook, so they don't have him.
That's
next
the
week.
thing too. Booker last night said his team didn't have Dalvin Cook like Booker. We beat him with Dalvin already.
Yeah, week 1
Under
or
100.
2.
I hope to repeat that next week too.
Yeah, he was early. It was early in the
Under
season.
100 yards.
Yeah, when he was his hottest, that's when they.
Yeah.
I think I believed it the first week when they had Dalvin Cook because he was balling out the first week or two. But last week I didn't really believe it. I just thought it was funny because you guys were so pissed when I said, "Oh, Vikings."
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not trying to take
That
away.
outsider
I want
perspective.
to give you like a short talking point
No,
'cause
you're good
I
for
know. But whatever, man. If you got stuff to lay, go for it.
Dakota only has a 20% share in this franchise right now.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I'll talk more when I get paid more.
Well, when we get paid, you get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but no, I mean, when I was happy
$30
last year, but maybe that I have
You get 30%.
after maybe after a big loss, maybe I feel like I have like even less to talk about
Yeah, I mean, I feel you.
because I feel like it's been up and down season all year,
You've been saying that.
Well,
and then
with
yeah,
all like with every loss, it's like, for
the
me,
wins are good, but the losses are just
you kind of like, all right,
confusing.
it's kind of the same thing every week.
Oh,
Every
say that again?
every time you
Say
lose,
that again?
losses are the wins are good, but like the losses are always like confusing.
Just want to make sure you said that clear, just that way.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's greatly stated on some of your losses.
Yeah, because
Some
like
things you just
it's just some and other things that are like where it should have been won early on, or either the game got away from us too soon, stuff like that.
well, I feel like a broken record when we talk about losses. Like for the Bills, like for most teams, it's like, okay,
Just keep making the same excuses.
what did you guys do well? We played good defense. This week was a little bit different. Like for us, like where I don't feel like we played as good a defense, but we didn't make enough plays, and that's kind of what it comes down to. Like for us, like we didn't make enough plays on offense. Like regardless,
And where has Khalil
Yeah.
Mack been?
The first half of
so
the
he got
season,
paid and now he's not around.
even with no
Scary,
sacks,
right?
Like
Six
first half of the
years.
season.
Yeah, so he's still a freak. Like don't get me wrong, and he's getting more attention. Like 'cause, you can say the same thing about
One
Darnold.
tackle.
Like
And also, I can't blame him that much because also he's been having a season without Akeem Hicks in there to also like.
Okay, I mean,
Make
well,
room
I
for
said that
him, you know
about
what I
Kenny
mean?
Clark. So that's a credible
Yeah.
argument.
That's one thing. He's been out for about 6-7 games.
But he was
He's hurt again.
on Blaga and D-Bach a lot, so he's not
Yeah.
he's not winning his 1-on-1. So just as a Bears to Packers fan argument, is our outside tackles that good, or is Khalil Mack regressing already?
Yeah, I think.
Is it
I
is
don't
it
think he's
something where
regressing. I think
Obviously, I gotta say that for the content.
Yeah, I don't think he's regressing, but I think that Bakhtiari and Balaga, they're some of the greatest
And I
tackles
usually
in the
think
league.
Blaga sucks ass, but he's having a fantastic year.
I mean, I put him up there with like the Colts line, and then
And considering I
Roberts
just had someone
the
last week
Steelers
tell me
line.
how bad our offensive line was,
yeah,
Aaron Jones 156 rushing
they're really
yards.
strong at the tackles. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Khalil Mack's regressing. I think it's been a
He's not
different
been winning
season
moments.
for last
Well, I
year.
think
I
what's
mean, it's-
around Khalil Mack?
There's
Because
a lot of teams that couldn't double team him.
what's around Khalil Mack? Because I feel like last year,
Well, that's what he was saying. No Akeem Hicks.
like
He's not
you guys
obviously-
had so much more. Like even
That-
from the
well, again,
defensive
there's-
tackle position, you guys had some pressure.
From the secondary
Yeah.
in, they were better.
Like,
Again,
I think Fuller had a much better year last year. Like I think
you had
Fuller's
you had
an average
Jackson,
quarterback.
Jackson, Amos, Fuller.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking good.
They were at half strength.
Yeah.
I mean, you take away one of your DBs, like specifically your safeties, then all of a sudden your corners don't play quite as well because they don't feel as comfortable over the top. Like,
they don't trust the help.
That's one thing HaHa has done a lot of this year. He's
He's-
actually made scoring, saving tackles.
Except against us when he didn't even rotate or try.
Yeah, that's when he just got.
so I mean, yeah, I think that's part of the
I trust the
regression
open field though.
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it does take time. Like the NFL is so like, anytime you're on a team, it's trust. I trust you're going to be there.
Right.
Whether it's offense, defense, like
Wait for the man beside you.
if you're a quarterback versus a cornerback, like it's the same thing. Like I trust you're going to be in your spot no matter what. Now, if that trust gets broken, whether it's outside, whether I see that like, oh, it doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers trusts his receivers right now, or Kyle Fuller doesn't trust his help over the top. Like it's a
Right.
big deal because at both of those positions, corner and quarterback, you have to be fearless. You have to forget about the last play. If you throw a pick six, like you have to forget about it because you're coming out next play. If you're the number one corner and you get beat, like you have to forget about it, like because they're coming at you next play.
Right.
So it's just that short-term memory. So it's such a team game, and there's so much like, oh, if I know like my receiver's not like Tom Brady, for example, you can say he's regressing, and I believe he's regressing.
You can see it.
I mean, it to me,
Sure,
it's
yeah, good game someday.
to me, it's evident. But
You, for you, people can say slanted view. Fuck them.
well, I don't like,
Fuck him.
That's how we're doing our show.
I really don't care. Like I mean, I think like you could say it's slanted view, but like
42.
it's not accurate.
42 Euro quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But yeah, I mean, you can look at it and be like, all right, he doesn't trust his receivers, so he's not throwing the ball. He's throwing the ball away more. He's doing this more. He's doing that more. For a cornerback, you can say, well, he's playing off more when he should be, playing press coverage or whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you don't trust who you're throwing to or who's got your back at the defensive end, like you're not going to have the same success you did, a year ago, 2 years ago. So I mean, it's huge. If you don't trust who's behind you at safety or as a corner, like you're not going to be the same player you were. So sorry, I have gone off on like
No,
27
fine,
tangents
fine, man.
today.
I agree,
It's
though.
Christmas
Yeah.
Eve.
That's what it's for.
Fuck it. We got no. The wives are working.
Bitches be working, making that money.
Damn.
Bitch to be working. That's the episode title.
Oh, okay. All right, that's
Bitches
cool
be
too.
working.
So we got 3, but bitches be working is the new front runner.
Yeah,
Yeah, what other shit?
It's cool. But yeah, man. So
my wife's not listening.
NFC North champs again, and I said ever since the season started, since we started doing this, it starts with the division win, and
You
here
gotta
we
say, hold my beer.
here we fucking are.
Hold my beer.
Here we are.
Hold my beer. Robbie's talking.
Listen,
Gotta take notes.
hey, I did.
Oh,
It's very small. This was the Packers' best game of the year, 100%.
Think so?
Oh yes, 100%.
That
Because
Dallas game?
Huh?
That Dallas game?
no, because your best game doesn't come from a scoring onslaught. Your best game comes from I feel like
Controlling the ball
what
on
you
both
have
sides.
to do to beat the other team, and it's overcoming adversity in this one. 3 turnovers in the first half.
Inspirational.
Exactly. I'm serious, man. For Rodgers to throw probably his first true pick in at least 2 years, probably. The Vikings rotated.
Yeah, they were just
No,
fucking.
no, no. They were a
reasons.
lot of pass coming off receivers'
Rodgers
hands.
doesn't throw picks.
They were a lot of. Listen, I will pull up tape.
Let's make him smile right now and just
Listen.
keep talking trash because he's smiling. Like I wish this was a video podcast right now.
So
He blushing.
no, but what I'm saying is the Vikings
head
played
is
a lot
red.
of too deep. They played a lot of too deep, and on this particular play, they're showing a single high safety, rotated, came down, just made a great defensive play. So I'm saying is the defense beat Rodgers,
Who made the pick?
number 41.
Who's that?
Fuck if I know.
I thought you were gonna say like Harrison.
Yeah, no. Harrison Smith though did cause a fumble on Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones also had a fumble. So 3 big turnovers in the first half. So going in the half, 9-10.
Coming at first.
I mean, that
Again.
is big. That really is big, and not
Yeah.
to like I know we've been
Non-sarcastically is how
Yeah.
you're saying this.
yes, non-sarcastically. No, overcoming 3 turnovers is big because
Huge.
Did
You don't win
you
the
guys
turnover battle, it's
did you guys
big.
get turnovers?
Kevin King.
He had 1.
Kevin King, and I think there was a fumble in there because I'm a little drunk right now.
Even still, like
You feel it too.
the turnover battle is so big in the
It is
NFL. I mean, if you turn the ball over like 3 times in a game, like it's the stats are ridiculous as far as how much you lose. Now,
So I mean, they were, because the thing is, one of the turnover, like all the Vikings turnovers led to points. That's how they scored. It was 10-9 going in at half. Kirk, after a turnover, threw a dot to Stephon Diggs, who got a clean release against Jair. You know, sometimes it happens. I mean, Jair got butchered way more against Amari Cooper all game versus the second half against Diggs. But, yeah, and then the final score, 23-10. Scoreless for half. Defense hunkering the fuck down. Doing big things. You know, oh my God, excuse me. And so, my total notes here. You know, Tremont playing man-to-man at 36 years old, by the way. I don't care if it's number 2 or 3 receiver. He's playing man-to-man. It's fucking sick.
half shove, 6 to midnight.
Inverted for Tremont.
6
all
to
the
midnight.
time. Exactly. So, little interesting note too. MVS is back to the punt team now.
How do you feel?
Awesome. Fuck it. Because Lazard's in there. I think he got targeted 7
We
times.
watched your opinion of MVS over the
I think
It started
decline.
high, right?
It's fucking hilarious.
all the way down.
Like,
It
it
Last time you
started,
like
it started
MVS,
full
wasn't it?
shove, like inverted shove. Now, like
well, again, based off what you put on tape, but from last season and every week since, it's
Robbie
gone
gives
downhill.
0 fucks
Last
about what
time
you've done.
Robbie appreciated
in the past.
MVS, I wasn't even on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Like
It's actually probably pretty accurate. You
Yeah,
might have
that
had
time.
one episode where you was still like
it was
you-
the free play against.
not.
Sliding off of his dick.
Yeah, he's just not. It's
Just
fine.
fall
He was
off.
wet, but he still
Yeah.
wasn't. He wasn't
But
in.
he did have a
emerged.
key block on Aaron Jones' 56-yard touchdown run.
That's part of being a good
So-
receiver in this league.
So if he's
All-
trying to earn it back, doing key blocks will get him back potentially. But you still got to make catches. Lazard doing big things. Devontae Adams tied his career high at 14 or 15. So that was good to see. We were blowing them up underneath, dude. Like when they were running those too high and disguising, even before and after the pick, you could see underneath they were playing soft, super soft.
crushed
And
him.
it was always there. And I want to go to a goal line view because on the 2-point conversion to Gmo, I'm like, Gmo's fucking wide open because I can see him. I want to understand why Rodgers is holding the ball more, not 2 days later when they release the game film. Like, I want to know what's going on right now. But still, again, to respond, to hold them scoreless, there were still some bad plays like winning the game. But to perform that way, it's Darius Smith, man. Talk about hitting free agency. You guys fucking night. 3.5 sacks. Just blowing it last night.
Yeah.
And I could not. And I said before, it starts with a division win. If Green Bay won the title based off last night, we can compete, but the Saints scare me to death.
Yeah.
Like, they really do.
The Saints.
Rightfully so.
The Saints should scare everybody. Like, and that's not like
They've been
defense.
scaring everybody for at least 3 years now. They've just been getting fucked on some plays.
I mean, legit. They had one play each of the last 2 years that has fucked their NFC Championship and Super Bowl aspirations.
Yeah.
Rams game.
Yeah,
and then
Rams
the
and then
Vikings.
the Vikings game where they
I
had
don't know
the
if it
We
was-
always get so close.
I think we were just hanging out, I think. But someone asked me, like, if Packers played the Saints NFC Championship or whatever stage of the playoffs.
It'd be a good game, but
what if the Saints got screwed on a game-sealing play? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
who cares?
It's Drew Brees is
Fuck
a
'em.
hell of a nice guy. We're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
what the fuck them?
I don't care. I don't care. Sure, I will admit a bad call's a bad call, but we're going to the Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter.
I will admit that. Hey, we shouldn't be here, but fuck.
Hey, we're here.
We're here now. Fuck it.
Yeah. We're going to go back.
What do you think? Do you think the Rams feel bad about last year?
No.
No.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're a Rams fan, you're like saying, "What call?"
Yeah. That's how I be. I don't
Yeah,
care.
fuck. Yeah.
Green
Fuck
Bay
it.
gets all the calls. Hail Mary brought the rest back. You're welcome. So, but yeah, just a very impressive game. Like I said, keeping plays in front of him. Blake again in coverage, keeping plays in front of him. So, showing up in these last couple weeks to play a division opponent that talked a lot of shit. Their fans talk a lot of shit. Their
They
fan
love doing
base
that.
talks a lot of shit. All this stuff, and just to lose
They've only
this
beat. They've only beat the fucking Lions this year.
in our
Yeah.
division.
Yeah.
They've
Is
only
that saying a lot?
they have only beat
That's
the
what I'm
worst
saying.
division. Think about
And they're still in the playoffs. Like,
it. The Vikings
How?
suck, dude? I don't understand why the league is so high up on them, because even at the closing, it's 23-10. Even the commentators are like, well, Green Bay is defeating the Vikings here. They're not talking about, like, Green Bay played a hell of a game, blah, blah. We're very slept on, at 12-3, which is fine by me. But why is the league on the Vikings dick?
yeah. And then like the
Like,
record isn't that good.
They
They're
have
like,
a wide receiver, so it makes them cool. I guess that must be it.
racism defeated.
Racism defeated episode title.
Yeah. Tom Brady gets
That's a little risky for me, guys. I don't think we're going with that. Like,
I'm
let's
saying.
keep this
Yeah, he said.
racial neutral.
It is, but I'm
It's
saying
not the-
I don't really understand because, like, Stephon Diggs, I hate him. Talented. Adam Thielen is not that good. I don't even think Adam Thielen had a pass caught last night. It's targeted.
I'm more scared of Diggs than I am Thielen.
Yeah, I think he's targeted 3 times and no catches. But yeah, as you said before, Kevin King with his 5th interception of the year. I understand he does let in yards, but the guy
He's
shows.
gonna Trey White.
Huh?
He's gonna Trey
Trey
White.
White?
I'm not saying that either, but he shows up and plays. All I'm saying. Everyone that says the TJ Watt, like
Oh,
Darius Smith is being.
I would've been
TJ Watt
okay.
in every category.
I would have been okay with drafting Kevin King. By the way, same draft. Like Packers traded up
To
first
get Kevin,
to get Kevin King.
not take TJ.
I again would have been okay. And we traded down to 24 in the first round for Trey White. Just saying.
The argument is again versus Kevin King is we could have had TJ Watt. It's like okay, but Zadarius Smith a year later.
32 other
Zadarius
teams.
Smith a year later is being
could
TJ
have
Watt in everything across the board. So what do you want?
TJ Watt is a productive player who has an older brother that has been a dominant player in the NFL.
Popular by proxy.
I mean, is he a bad player? Absolutely not.
No,
Like,
he's
do
a player.
you want him on your team? Yes. But at the same time, like it took him a year or two to develop. Like he wasn't like out of the box like this elite pass rusher. Like he can do a lot of things. He can cover a little bit. He can rush the passer. He can tackle. He can do it all. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, speaking of that, so that's one of my buddies' things was talking about how TJ Watt's better than Zadarius Smith, like when we signed him in free agency, blah blah blah. Now Zadarius Smith's beating him and everything, and then he's like, "Well, Zadarius Smith's only an elite pass rusher. He doesn't drop in coverage." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck if he drops in coverage. He's further away from the quarterback."
So there's two things.
Bad.
There's 2 ways that teams build in the NFL as far as the defense. You either have elite cover corners, or you have elite pass rushers. So
Which you want?
if you pick elite pass rushers, okay, Zadarius. Like not that J.J. Watt, you don't want him on your team again, but
We
you
have Zadarius Smith and Jair Alexander though.
so you might say, okay, well, he might not be the cover linebacker or the cover, guy that that anybody is, but I don't think anybody's saying that T.J. Watt is an elite cover guy because I don't think he is.
Who the fuck would say that in their right mind? Oh, the same guy, by the way, said, "I need to ask all my friends as Dakota steps off to go get a new beer."
Hopefully that's just a new beer.
But
Break
he
the
said
seal.
that anybody would pick T.J. Watt over Zadarius Smith today. I'm like, based off media exposure, maybe.
I think it's a name. Like,
Sure.
are either one of them?
I mean,
like,
if you hand out a pamphlet to people randomly in the street and say, "Hey, who do you know?" A lot of people are going to pick T.J. Watt because most people have heard J.J. Watt versus Zadarius Smith.
They might even think it's J.J. Watt that they're picking. Like,
Fair.
not to be like, but
Fair.
just, if you polled Americans today, they'd be like, "What? Okay, yeah, it's JJ." They like, unless they're a Steelers fan, you might not know.
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody's going to know who Zadarius Smith is, and that's fine.
yeah.
He's got 13 sacks. He's got more than TJ. Fact.
Yeah.
13 and
So-
a half.
but if you take their stat lines, and you double blind this and you cover their names,
Zadarius way better.
I
way
mean,
better.
he's having a better
Zadarius-
statistical year.
Exactly. Zadarius produced more QB pressures and hits because now the Steelers' defense as a whole led in that category. It means 11 guys had to do what one guy can.
Yeah.
So, so again, and I talk about it
as
almost
a
every week.
team. As a team, again, but I will caveat this with saying the Bills are more of a team pass rush. So we don't have an elite guy that has like 12 or 13 sacks. We have 15 guys with 1 sack or more. So I would rather have the team, but if my team is not getting pressure and only one guy is getting there, I'm not mad at it. I want that guy on my team. Like, okay, shit. If this guy can do it by himself, what the fuck could he do if I had another pass rusher?
Right.
Or, if I had another 4 guys that could get after the pass rusher. Yes, are his individual stats or his individual accolades gonna like suffer a little bit?
But
Maybe.
Again, like the argument with Zadarius dropping and cover, it's like, okay, so his greatest asset to the team is creating distress for the quarterback. Why the fuck do I want him further away from the quarterback?
Yeah.
That is not a logical argument to me.
Well, there's
Like, that makes no sense. Like, he's only good at what he was signed to do. No way!
well, it doesn't matter. Like, I think this argument happened like a number of
It's
years
because he's
ago.
still bitter that the Packers beat the Steelers in Super Bowl in 2010.
That's
where
probably
it's
it.
coming from.
But like, I mean, if you think about it, like back in the day, Mario Williams was a great pass rusher. Like, he complained when he was dropping back in coverage, and like rightfully so. But if that's what your team asks you to do, that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's what you
By
got.
the way, speaking on Anthony Barr, I meant to say this before.
Hurdles.
Yeah, fuck Anthony Barr. So
Guys,
Aaron Jones had a big drop on a 3rd down. I think it was in the first quarter to give us another first down. Anthony Barr said to him, "Get off the field. These lights are too bright for you." To Aaron fucking Jones, who gets 156 rushing yards after that. It might be rushing yards, or might be all like
Purpose. Who
yeah,
cares?
who the
150
fuck?
yards.
like get fucked.
You're on defense, and you let somebody.
Two on
You
the
let
ground.
one.
Two on the ground.
Let one dude get 150 yards.
More they were held to under 200 total yards. I think it was like one.
Yo, Anthony, go low on Josh Allen one more time.
Yo, Anthony, talk shit to my running back one more time. Yo, Anthony, injure my quarterback one more time. Anthony Barr's greatest fucking highlight is
Getting hurdled by Josh Allen.
Is an injury to Aaron Rodgers and getting hurdled by Josh Allen.
And then,
Vikings fans say,
oh, by the way, that same game, Josh Allen, I think, rushed and ran through Anthony Barr for a touchdown.
dude, they say that
I'm just saying.
the family like he's got 4 Pro Bowls. I'm like, and 4 Pro Bowls.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why.
Who cares?
So Pro Bowl is soft because,
Popular.
first of all, the best players don't even play because they're playing in the Super Bowl. So,
Exactly.
I mean, how many times was he a legit elected Pro Bowl guy? Like, whatever. Like, all pro or like the all pro status,
best-
I think is
listen,
better.
The best Pro Bowl highlight period is Sean Taylor hitting a fucking punter. That's all you need to know about the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. And that was like
a tackle and a punter,
and that
is
was
the
not-
biggest highlight.
and
the
that's
Pro
not
Bowl.
kosher in the Pro Bowl. Like,
No.
don't hurt those guys.
And he
Hell,
got
let's
them
have
all.
fun.
Like, yeah. I don't know. The Pro Bowl, it's really tough. It would be really tough to do a good game because, in a real NFL game, you scheme, you do some things like, you play, you practice. Like, training camp is weeks long. You do your OTAs, you do, your training camp,
You're meshing it and melding
so
together.
you have schemes, you have,
Letting it brew, if you
The
will.
mixer.
yeah, so you have all this time. You have all this time together. And then the Pro Bowl, it's like, all right, like, do what you do in a week. It's basically backyard football, like, which is good, but like,
It's good on paper.
you might as well just like, and I don't mean this, like, the skills competition I think is great. I would like to see a throw off just because I think that would be cool. It would be easy to do. Like, all right, let's
the skill contest is the only thing I actually watch.
But like, there's no blitzing. It's really vanilla. It's like one-on-one. It's this and that. It's preseason football with the best players that you're still not interested in.
Exactly.
You're still it's just not great. So, to me, if you did like 7-on-7, like honestly, a 7-on-7 flag game would be more interesting because you'd at least like it's the same thing. You just don't see any hits. Like,
I mean, you're right. You're not wrong. I'm not arguing with you.
They're just playing. They're having fun.
Yeah, you might as well just see what they can do as far as like coverage and different things. But that actually might be more fun is watching like NFL players play in like a flag football tournament.
That would be cool.
Like, just be like, all right, we're going to have 6 teams.
A lot more non-contact injuries.
Right.
We're going to have 6 teams or 8 teams or 4 teams or whatever. And, like, we're going to play, like, these 20-minute games.
Cool.
Like, or, however long it would take. And like a celebrity softball game. Like, it's more.
Pro-Am.
It's so much more entertaining than the Pro Bowl right now.
Yep.
Like, before like, MLB, like, All-Star Week, they do the celebrity softball game. And that's way more fun. Why don't you do that with football and make that the Pro Bowl? Like, be like, okay, like these are our captains, And they've tried to do some things like where we've introduced these legends to be the captains or the coaches, and it's like
they draft stuff, like
which is cool. But the draft is
weekend.
it's like fantasy football. The draft is more fun than actually playing the games.
essentially.
Like the
It's
draft
fun
is
only when you're winning.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know what they could do. I don't. That's just my pitch on it. Like, maybe if you make it a celebrity
Make
softball
Justin
game.
Commish 2020.
Hey, I would meet all those dudes because they're probably
What?
awesome.
I think this might be our last episode of 2019. Actually, if we meet next Thursday. Yep.
Yeah.
Potentially. Just thought of that. Huh.
Last episode 2019.
Wow. All right. Well, all thing I'm going to say
Deep
is going into next week to beat Detroit, we just need to show up and do what we did this week. It's Detroit. They have 3 wins.
Do we want to do picks this week? Because, like, I mean, and I don't mean this, like, Dakota's going to sound really. We're in the playoffs. Dakota's solidly not. So, really, the games don't matter.
We should pick for consistency.
Okay, let's pick for consistency.
If we want to talk past the picks, we can.
Okay, so because I'm a Bills Jets fan, ESPN has put Bills Jets first for me.
Okay.
Understandable.
Like, even with sitting people, I think there's a potential for us to lose, but
If they start, they win. If they sit, they lose. That's just how I'm weighing that one.
I mean, I still think even if they, depending on who they sit, I think we can still win. Like, because do the Jets really have anything to play for? Not really. It's not like it's not like they're being like, oh, we're gonna ruin
tank.
we're not ruining the Bills' playoff chances. We're not ruining anything. So they really have nothing to.
So this could be the most vanilla game of the schedule this week.
So I mean, I'm gonna pick Bills regardless of that. Like, I don't know how you guys feel.
I guess, like I just said, if they start them, they win. If they sit them, they lose.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the Jets showed us enough last week to where they can beat.
I mean,
Jamal Adams is the factor.
I mean, I think
Right.
the Jets are a better team than what they played this year.
Yeah.
I will say that, but they've had a lot of
Back.
injuries. Mono.
Got that Denver treatment.
I got his ass.
But anyways, and they beat some good teams. Browns, Bengals. Whew.
Browns could
I think we'll go to Browns.
yeah.
At Bengals.
I think we'll still go to Browns.
Bengals. Yeah.
Bengals. I thought had a
They've already
chance.
accepted their fate.
I think the
pretty much,
Bengals are just going to play for the pick now because they got it already,
They
right?
already have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have.
so-
They can play. I mean, they can play ball. They
They could win.
AJ Green's out.
Browns.
Brown.
Good.
Lions, Packers at Lions.
Packers.
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 I'm
They have
picking-
3 wins, bro.
If the
I'm
Lions
picking,
have
I'm picking
something,
Packers.
if
But
the Lions have something to play for, maybe, but
They don't.
Right at this
Well,
point,
we have something to play for. Number 1 seed if Seattle beats San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I'm not just spoiler alert picking Seattle.
Lions just saying fuck it.
I'm going to pick Packers. Chiefs, Chargers. Chiefs at home.
They're too high right now.
Bears, Vikings. Should we just pick the Vikings now?
I mean, can you?
Vikings who? Vikings new.
I don't know. I think the Vikings team we played at the beginning of the season was completely different than what they are now. But
Do the Vikings
What they
really
can
don't
run
have
with.
anything to play for, right? Because
Yeah.
they're a 6 seed.
Yeah, I'm gonna just pick the Bears
Yeah,
just
they
for the
could be
fact that
against
the
their
Bears
team.
already beat them once.
yeah,
Vikings are at home. Don't really have anything to play
To lose
for.
2 in a row at home would be a fucking hilarious.
division.
That's why I'm picking
so
the
they're going
Bears.
to the
too.
playoffs only having beaten the Lions.
Could you imagine going to playoffs on 2 L's at home? Could
Wow.
you imagine?
I mean, we could lose this week.
Yeah, but again, it's
Not at
different.
home.
It's
Not at
different.
home. Yeah.
again, it's a different loss.
Yeah.
Um,
Stings more.
I want to say
If we can fix our mistakes from the Kansas City,
I want to say, I actually, it would be better for you guys to lose.
so
I'm just saying, like, it would be better because of
it's better for who?
No,
Robbie.
it would be better for the playoffs because 8-8 really kind of fucks you as far as the draft goes. Whereas 7-9, I mean 7-9 is not that much better.
Last year, too. Well, we already have 2 second-round picks.
But what are you
If
going to
we-
pick that you really is going to drastically change?
If the Raiders lose, then that'll be even better. What would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, that's the other thing is the
It really
pick-
doesn't matter. Do you guys even have a first round pick this year?
We have 2 second rounds,
You have two
which is
seconds.
okay because if we did lose and the Raiders also lost, they'd be like back to back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I
What were
think
you saying, Robbie?
I said even if
Like our number 1 in the draft this year?
yeah, I mean, what are you guys gonna take at a higher pick that's gonna solve your problems right this second?
Cornerback to
Think
replace
so?
Amukamara.
Well,
yeah.
you could probably get someone in free agency right now that's better than Amukamara.
Yeah, if we like
You could go right now. You did pick
me.
Hey,
I could go.
Let the record show I got off Dakota Island once.
I'm just saying.
Cold.
It was
It was cold.
It's cold.
said I would not get
I
that.
bur-
for 2
I haven't
years.
played in like 2 years since then.
I burned that.
Oh,
Justin caught with like goalie gloves all day,
oh, yeah, I remember that story.
like Betty Crocker.
That's
Man,
right.
I'll go play again soon.
We
It
should
would
do-
be fun
we,
to
we
watch.
could do it again.
Drills right after this, right in the rocks out there.
Okay.
Cool.
Start now.
So next pick is
I'm
what?
not scared. I ain't scared. Let's see. So we said Bears, Vikings, Dolphins, Patriots.
Patriots.
This is an interesting one. Falcons, Bucks. At Bucks.
The shit bowl. This is the 2 teams that
Like,
Yeah,
should be
bad.
way better than what they actually
And
are.
can win against each other.
2 shitty teams who playing better than they should be.
I
Play how they
like
expect
Atlanta, but I think the Bucks are going to win.
Yeah, if Jameis throws 5 and 5, I think they'll be okay.
5 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Yeah.
The old 5-5.
Matt Ryan throws none. We'll be
I
okay.
mean, I don't know.
I'm
Listen,
picking
that's a-
Atlanta.
that's a
Picking
toss-
Tampa Bay.
That's a toss up for me. Like, I could easily pick the Falcons.
I think Tampa Bay's
I think I would
defense.
prefer the
I'm
Falcons
picking-
to win.
Yep.
I would prefer the Falcons to win, but I just think
I just want to see Jameis do better for himself. Like, this is just hard to
I want
watch.
to believe.
I want to believe in Jameis.
It's just hard to watch.
Like, he's so good, but so bad.
It's
All
fucking-
at the same time.
It's hilarious.
Like, he's not going to be the Tampa Bay quarterback next year because he throws 27
I mean,
interceptions.
he's the most winningest quarterback in history with 200 interceptions. Like,
He's going to break the all-time. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
Saints Panthers.
Saints, 52-0.
Mike McCarthy interviewed for the Panthers head coaching
They
position.
need him right now.
Huh?
They need him
He's-
right now.
he's there.
Mike McCarthy didn't bring new plays. Cam Newton's still gonna suck dick.
Cam Newton even going to be there.
Who cares? If
Probably.
he comes to NFC North, then welcome to the jungle, big boy.
I don't
You
think.
picked a hell of a place to
I'm
be.
kind of off the
We-
campaign now. I want to get to the draft now.
Okay,
Just because, I mean,
Just to see?
save some money, too.
just to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see.
Oh,
Yeah.
Redskins Cowboys.
God, I'm
It's the Redskins fucking
Redskins. Let's all pick Redskins, right?
Wait,
Merry
wait.
Christmas, Dallas.
I mean, I think Dallas
The
has to
two
win.
Dallas fans that we could have had on today.
Ooh.
So we
Case
have to
Keenum-
pick Redskins.
Case Keenum's comeback last week against the Giants.
Case
They may have
Keenum's
lost,
legit.
but
And if let's see, this is
Yeah.
all right. We said this
Yeah.
before,
by the
but
Bills.
this is truly for Jason Garrett's job.
Oh, yeah.
No, I thought-
That's why I want the Redskins to win too.
He
I
has
thought it
a
was last week, honestly. I
he
think-
has a chance to still be the coach of the Cowboys.
I mean, but
He has to win, and
What
the
do
Eagles have
Cowboys
to lose.
need?
I'm
Oh, yeah,
picking the
that's all?
Redskins just for the comedy. I just want to see what happens.
I
The
think
Who's at
meme,
home?
listen, Redskins win. The memes that day are going to be fire.
Is that Dallas?
it's at Dallas.
So
Redskins.
I want to know,
I
but
mean,
maybe
that just means Case Keenum's not going to have any wind when he throws, when he
Exactly.
dices up the.
They up there now.
I
So
think
are we all
Redskins
picking Redskins now? For real?
I'll pick. I mean, I think
I want to see them win.
I think the Cowboys will win, but I'm picking the Redskins.
Let's do it. We're all locked in.
That's not a confidence pick.
Yeah, but it's fun. The Redskins.
So all right, well, let's all do this. Let's all do the upset as a Redskins then.
We're shooting on the Cowboys. That's
Yes,
really what
That's true,
we're all
too.
unanimous on the upset as the Redskins.
Mike, I feel like
Within reason this time, though.
potentially the best player on the Cowboys.
At this
Damn.
point, that's Zeke. Come on.
But no, Mike. Sorry, Mike. You're
Demarcus
good.
Lawrence, he could probably bench press like my house.
Every
My
person,
house.
every person in the Cowboys is good. Like they really don't have a bad.
Right. Be playing the way they are.
Jason, Mike, you would be a better coach than
He would help the
Jason.
secondary. Long.
Or
Exactly. So, all right.
Raiders Broncos At Broncos.
Picking Broncos just because it's been so funny to watch the Raiders leave and lose at the same time.
Lock.
Yeah.
Lock. John Elway might have picked a quarterback.
We'll see. That's the one that Green Bay was going to take, they say. Pick a quarterback.
Pick a draft for quarterback this year.
Cardinals, Rams. Rams were eliminated last week.
Cardinals. Just because Brett Hundley in there trying to keep us alive. So I'm going to go with that.
I'm just in the Rams because that's like the least interesting game this week, I think.
You know what would be really interesting? Eagles, Giants. If the Eagles lost.
That would be who's starting? Would it be Eli?
No. It's
All right.
at the Giants.
Taking
Too.
the Giants in. Danny Dimes and Saquon's up
35 last week. Saquon ran for 1.
I got to go with the Eagles because I really don't want Dallas to be in the playoffs.
I do just want to get a free win, homie.
Yeah, I
I'm
want
trying
Dallas
to get to the next round.
I want to see it happen.
Lose again. I want Vikings Dallas in a row. Put us right in the NFC title game. Let's go.
Colts
stepped over 2 opponents.
Colts Jaguars.
Weeks in a row. Gee.
Colts Jaguars. 1-0 Packers.
Colts.
Yeah. Colts. Ravens Steelers without Lamar Jackson. We already know that Lamar Jackson is not playing.
RG3.
Then in that case, Steelers just based on that.
I think the Ravens can still win. I haven't played
That'd
too
be
good
hilarious.
I think the Ravens are still going to. I do too. I mean,
I'm gonna make fun of a certain person if this happens.
Yeah,
we're gonna fucking.
Damn, you got beat by 2 RG3s.
Holy shit!
I mean, really, I think
Not bad for a running back.
Not bad for a running back.
One. What is it? Duck Hodgins. Like he had 4 picks against us. He did not.
2 last week.
He did not play well against the Jets. I think the Ravens defense is as good, if not better than
previous 2.
if not better than the Jets. So their secondary is legit, and Mason Rudolph is hurt. I don't think he's going to play. Which Mason Rudolph actually
He
came
played
in.
last week.
No, he didn't start.
Is TJ Watt playing because he is their defense, from what I hear? TJ playing.
Or on the street is TJ Watt the whole defense.
Yeah, TJ Watt's so good because
TJ is good. I'm not going to say he's
I'm
not.
not saying he's not good, but he's not better than Darius Smith. Fact.
Zeke. I'm sorry. Mika Fitzpatrick is pretty legit too.
I'm not talking about Mika. I'm talking about TJ.
I know who you're talking about. Texans Titans.
Minka.
Interesting matchup.
I'm
Texans.
Titans.
Ooh.
They can still make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
can't
what
they?
It's at Texans.
I think they can pull it off. Ryan Tannehill has been.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry is questionable. Did not play last week, and
Rest him for this game.
And the Texans beat that ass 2 weeks ago.
Well, they can't afford to rest him.
So I'm saying Texans.
They have to get
at
into the
home.
playoffs.
Texans
So
at home.
I'm gonna go
Texans
Tennessee.
still have something to play for, because they could potentially be the 3 seed.
They're the
if
Titans,
Kansas
man.
City loses.
Titans are motivated.
Yeah, Titans.
And
Well,
the Texans have already clinched. Then that's why that's the other thing.
yeah.
So Tennessee.
And then Niners, Seahawks.
Seahawks, we need it.
See, I think the Niners have a bounce back week, but it's in Seattle, so
Seattle with beast
Seattle.
mode, we need it.
Seattle all the way. Yeah, I don't.
Because if Seattle wins and we
It's tough.
win out,
I think
number 1
the
seed.
49 haven't been. They're like what 4-3 in the last 7 games now. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think I'm going Seahawks as well. I want to pick the 49ers.
from an 8-0 start, I mean they've kind of been up and down.
No,
since
Sunday night. There's no Monday night game this week.
That's right.
Sunday night. I'll be a good one.
I mean, I really think I want to pick the 49ers, but I can't. Like the Seahawks are that good. Even without two,
Seattle to win, baby.
even without their top 2 backs.
If we get the
Yeah.
number 1 seed, I'm blowing the roof off this fucking episode next week. I'm telling you.
We're just gonna listen to Robbie talk for an hour. It's okay.
We'll have 50 fucking minutes this week.
Really? Damn.
I'm just kidding.
On a
we
2-hour
interject.
show, though.
I'm giving him a
That's
hard
true.
time.
Yeah, it's longer than usual.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I mean, actually,
Sad
I
time.
pretty much dominated the last couple of weeks with Bill's talk. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
We like it though. You're so animated.
You're welcome.
It's never uninteresting.
You're welcome,
Yes,
audience.
yes,
Like
yes.
whether it's right
You're
or
welcome,
wrong.
Tim.
Like, yeah.
Here's the thing: it's our opinion, and either they agree with our opinion because they keep listening.
Hey, we get more subscribers. We know people like it.
Maybe we're so dumb they think we're funny. Like either way.
Two, I will ride either wave until it crashes.
Maybe we're talking about a bear.
Yeah.
Okay, you get
But-
one good season.
Oh.
We're 2 out of 3 playoffs.
Well, 'cause you know
where,
what Brady-
where are you at as far as the playoffs? The last 3 years. We're not talking.
1 out of
Division
3.
last
One out of-
year.
Yeah, we won last year. Yeah,
No,
fuck you.
2 out of the last 3 years we've been in the playoffs.
They were in the playoffs 2 years ago too, right?
17.
Yeah, last year.
last year.
Your fourth last was bad, but that was Mike Glennon played 4 games and then Mitch started the rest of the year. Weird season.
Let's not talk about the last like 20 years. So
Adam
the
Pace
Bills
hasn't-
have sucked for like 20 years.
I think we
Well,
can
that's the other thing that I've talked about.
17-year drought, and now like we went from a 17-year drought in 2017 to 2 out of 3 years. So again, in my opinion, Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane can do no wrong.
He's on that MLF Brian Gutekunst shit with that. It's a good spot to be in, man. I'm just saying. It's like from where we were to where we are now, it's a good spot to be in. It's very relieving.
And like even the Bears, though, but I feel like in just learning kind of more about the NFC North this year, like you guys are gonna have a healthy like battle for the next 10 years
to come. Yeah.
Like I mean, some of it is
once we find our quarterback, I think.
Well, some of it is dependent on Mitch, but like you guys are gonna have a great battle because Aaron Rodgers isn't gonna be there for the next 10 years, and like there's no guarantees that they're gonna get another Aaron Rodgers. They've already done it. They've done it so well. They did, in replacing Brett Favre, they got Aaron Rodgers. Like, can you strike gold twice?
We'll see.
Maybe. But you guys have a defense
but
now.
Even if we only strike bronze and get a silver receiver to complement Devontae Adams, we're fine.
Yeah. But
hope you strike fucking
mud.
Yeah, strike mud.
But if
strike pebbles, bitch.
Mud.
If the Bears defense can solidify and then play like they did last year,
we got a couple problems
you
with
guys,
secondary.
For the next 10 years, there's a battle there. And you
throw
throw
more clear win, like
you throw in the
future, I think.
you throw in the Vikings. Maybe the Lions get better.
Maybe.
I'm saying,
keep holding on to that dream.
I'm not dreaming. I'm just saying. Like maybe they get better, maybe they get worse. But
along the timeline, the Bills have showed us that they can get better. Obviously, than the Lions. It will eventually have their day in the sun when I'm in a box.
I mean, it's the NFL. Like things can change in 2 or 3 years.
Right.
2-3 years, like things can change. You bring in the right regime.
I'm like optimistic with it for the future. I'm really excited for the draft this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys draft well, you still can be a contender. Like I think for the next probably 2 years, I think Green Bay has you as long as Aaron Rodgers is in the mix.
In the mix.
As long as Aaron Rodgers is inside Mitch.
Mitch. Well, maybe if Aaron Rodgers got inside of Mitch, he'd be better. But
okay.
Weird and like,
man, we're getting really speculative here.
It's
some
2019.
hot takes.
This is an episode for mind-altering chemicals at this point.
Hey, what was our title for the episode?
I already forgot.
Fuck, I forgot too.
Bros on the Sand was the last one I remember.
Fuck that one.
Bros in the Sand. Okay.
It was Anthony Barr related, I think.
Hurdle me, bro.
I don't remember. I can listen to it back before you upload it.
Josh Allen's massive sack.
It's Josh Allen. Something like that.
Massive sack, massive
dick. I think is what it was.
Josh Allen's massive dick. Okay,
huge dick.
It was Josh's massive
He's
dick.
He's not gonna have very more than already have been.
It's
He's gotta
fine.
make up the title.
That's fine.
I mean,
They're still listening at this point. Josh's massive dick. That's fine. We can have Justin can have his episode. That's cool.
who's
Words.
Josh?
Can you imagine Christmas Eve waking up to Josh's massive dick? Episode 10.
His fiance waking up to it every morning.
Whoa.
What up?
Well, according to Aaron Rodgers, him and Danica sleep in a race car bed.
Vroom.
Vroom.
Period.
I mean, I guess maybe he's got a little old. But anyway, so yeah, it's first time in a while. I think there's no Christmas Day games too.
That's what I was thinking.
Hey, fuck Christmas on a Wednesday.
It's fucking weird.
It sucks.
It's the fastest Christmas has ever gotten here, I think.
It's probably fair.
Yeah. Well, Thanksgiving was late this year too, so.
That's also true.
It's very.
It did really feel like when you guys were here last week, it was like there's no fucking way that we're gonna be hanging out next Tuesday. It felt like a mile away, like just.
Last week
Here we are.
Is it
Last week
Tuesday
felt
or is
like
it
November.
Wednesday? No, Wednesday is tomorrow.
Last
Yeah.
week felt like November.
Yes.
That felt.
So,
Hey, I'm feeling good. This is Justin from Counting by Sevens.
this is Robbie. We're gonna go. Go ahead. Sorry.
Because sorry,
We're gonna go be festive. Merry Christmas to everybody.
I didn't say sorry. I said you're welcome. Just so everybody knows.
Exactly.
Everybody else said sorry.
Merry Christmas. We're gonna go be festive.
Happy
Merry
Hanukkah.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
Hope Santa brings you what you want. If you're a Packers fan who thinks we should win better, I hope he brings you coal. We're out.
Ooh.
Later.